and face the east end zone, the playing of our national anthem.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we were so gallantly streaming, and the rugged red the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, one of our mothers, for that.
Hello and welcome to Ida B. Wells High School Stadium here in Portland, Oregon for a matchup in the Columbia Conference between the two teams sitting at the bottom, but with a chance to go into the postseason on a high. It's your Central Catholic Rams, 1-10, looking for their first Columbia Conference win of the season in their 9th try. On the opposite side, it's the home team, Ida B. Wells, the Guardians, 3-9, 1-7 in Columbia Conference play. My name is Seth Orensky, joined by Damon Hess. And I think those records can be a little bit deceiving when you play in the best conference here in the Portland area. Damon, both of these teams have some talent. They've dealt with injuries. They've dealt with maybe some shorter benches against strong opponents. But both of these teams could be threats in the postseason later this month.
Well, the Oregon, you're absolutely right. The Oregon High School Lacrosse Association has both a championship bracket and a Cascade bracket. Both these teams are destined for that Cascade bracket, but they'll be at the top of that bracket. This Columbia Conference has 6 teams, 4 are in the top 10, and then you have these two. So even though their records might not show it, these are both quality teams.
And you have two coaches who have taken over their programs relatively recently. Kyle Hinks led Ida B. Wells last year to a semifinal trip in the Cascade Cup, lost to the eventual champion Forest Grove in overtime. On the opposite side, Dave Sanford in his second season, really starting the rebuild this year. They had a nice trip to the postseason last year in the championship bracket, winning a game before falling to one of the higher seeds in the second round. The first time these two teams met, it was an electric game. Central Catholic out to a 7-2 start. Ida B. Wells chipped away, eventually winning it 10-9 with just 3 seconds to go. Both of these coaches were optimistic about their chances tonight, and it starts on the defensive end for both sides.
Well, both teams have had decent defenses and had trouble scoring goals. Neither of them has lost a game when they score in double digits. So that's going to be a key. Who can tickle that twine?
We take a look at the goalies first. Paxton Foster Kramer for Ida B. Wells, a second-team all-conference player a year ago. Their only returning all-conference player, a guy who not only plays goal but refs, and a guy who you really like kind of his tenacity, his mentality on the field.
Tenacity as well as an even keel. He keeps it. He keeps his head steady. Let's say that. And on the other side, the freshman has surprised everybody. Kyan Tron has been a real surprise for Dave. And so that's going to make this one interesting.
plays like a senior, according to his head coach, despite just being a first-year, fundamentally sound. Been dealing with an injury, did not play on Monday against Lincoln, one of the team's best games of the season. Harry Moscatello, the senior, filled in. Moscatello not available. Tran back in there as we've got our opening face-off. Looked like Ida B. Wells had it, but it's knocked away, and eventually the home team in white comes away with it. Ida B. Wells will go from left to right. Central Catholic in the road maroons with the gold letters and gold numbers going from right to left, as there is an errant pass immediately picked up by Central Catholic. That was Isaac Connell with it, and we'll see the first possession for the Rams.
They forced that crease early. I know that that's not what Kyle wanted. He would have liked to have gotten it around, but here we go. Starting off with the turnover.
Central Catholic started off really well in that game. In the third quarter, really undid them. The first meeting between the two teams, hit 3 or 4 pipes, committed some penalties, and just couldn't hold off the late Ida B. Wells run. Central Catholic looking for their first win since the early part of the season. And for the opposite side, Ida B. Wells looking for their second conference win, something they have not done since before the pandemic started. Central Catholic controlling it here. This looks like Finley Weymouth, the first year, whose pass is in and out of the cage of the stick, and another turnover. This one picked up by Ivan Tapia.
Jitters early, 2 consecutive unforced errors, almost 3. These teams are going to need to settle down.
And Damon, when you know you've got a winnable game and your record doesn't show it, maybe that causes a little bit more nerves going into this one.
Oh, absolutely. Both these teams have a good chance of winning this game. They know it. It's been a while since they've been in this spot, and we got our first penalty. I think Stroh's got a trip.
Yeah, it looked like Tanner Naslund is the guilty party, so he'll head off. And our first chance with the man up tonight for either side, as it'll be starting off with Dylan Schmick. The Central Catholic team feels like they're better than they played in that first game. It became a little bit of a grind-out game. Head coach Dave Sanford went as far as calling it a slobber knocker in that first one. I don't know if I could describe it as that. Wants his team to play a little bit cleaner and show off their offensive capabilities. Pass sent across, and unable to make the catch that time was Weymouth. And another turnover. Neither team has been able to put a shot on target or even a shot period to this point because of some turnovers. On the restart, it'll be Cannon Walter who scored the game-winning goal in that 10-9 victory for Ida B. Wells. Scored it with 3 seconds left in the contest. This is Walter looking to get it across midfield and eventually into the offensive third as he'll look to hold on to it. Potentially, no, he's going to send it across and they'll slow it down. Toby Carrick has it on the far side. Yeah,
they need to just sit on it right here, kill the penalty, get back to even strength. It was a 1-minute penalty. They probably got about another 30 seconds on it. Central's going to look to double here. They got to run away, which he does.
Yeah, that's Henry Elkin working his way out of pressure and giving it off for Alex Smith. Smith to the near side, working with it is Reese Ayers.
You see that bench on the Ida B. Wells sideline is a little thin, so they'd like to spend some time on offense each trip down, be deliberate, give their defense a chance to rest. And as I say that, he forces one up from inside, but they back it up. For you folks out there new to lacrosse, when a shot goes out of bounds, whichever team is closest to the ball, where it goes out, when it goes out, gets it. In that case, it was Wells, and so they retain possession.
Yeah, Kyle Hinks has said that he wants his team to have better possessions. That doesn't mean they're going to score, but not giving the ball back, making the defense work. And this is a team that only had 19 players to begin with, 5 guys unavailable today. It's actually more subs than they've had as of late. They've got quite a few JV guys at the end of the bench not in uniform. But this is a chance for Ida B. Wells potentially to sweep the series against Central Catholic.
Coming up from X, nice save. Did he hit pipe there?
I think it caught the underside of the bar. A good look from Toby Carrick, as it's not easy to beat Central Catholic's Kyan Tran, who takes up a lot of space in there. It'll stay with Ida B. Wells.
I'm going to give him the benefit of maybe tipping that ball off the pipe, too. I might give him a save on that one.
Here's a shot that whistles wide onto the stick of Alex Smith. That win for Ida B. Wells was their first conference win since 2024 when they beat Central Catholic.
Yeah, those stats seem big, but of course these guys have only been in the program for a year or two. They're just thinking about the here and now. Chance to create a little momentum going into the Cascade Cup.
Ida B. Wells still controls it, working with it is Elkin. Elkin back up top for Smith. We're still looking for our first goal of the contest. 8:24 to go in the first quarter. One shot between the two teams after a nervy start. And really, this good spell by Ida B. Wells on offense started on the penalty kill. Forced a turnover, and now have been able to have a long, sustained offensive possession.
Well, that, as you say, that penalty kill sort of forced them into holding it a little bit. Now they've, it looks like, got some patience back. Whoa! As I'm yammering on, Harry Elkin just lets one go.
Ida B. Wells goal.
That was almost a 20-yard bomb. Hits top corner. Wow.
Henry Elkin opens the scoring with 7:58 to go in quarter number one. It's Ida B. Wells out to an early lead, and Elkin not only firing from distance, but with the defender right in his face to give the Guardians an early 1-0 advantage.
Some fun stuff on the sideline over on the Ida B. Wells bench. Looks like the JV is there, and they've come up with some choreographed cheers. That's some juice over there working for the Guardians.
This faceoff is still loose and eventually picked up by Ida B. Wells, but don't hold on to it very long. Central Catholic looks to collect, and this has been a long bout of hot potato kicked away towards the sideline. Couple of Central Catholic players are there, along with one Ida B. Wells player, and it will go to Central Catholic. They get the ball back for the first time in what feels like 2 to 3 minutes.
That's exactly what Ida B. Wells wanted, control the ball. We'll see if Central can settle themselves down and tie this thing up.
Kyan Tran will give it off to one of his defenders as the Rams look for their first good offensive possession. They've yet to record a shot. A couple of turnovers in the early going and were unsuccessful on the man-up opportunity.
So they too like to work from X. Got some strong shooters on the islands that position right down adjacent to the goal, about 5 yards above GLE. That's where they like to generate offense from.
This is Liam Casey around his defender looking for an option to the
Right
far
there.
side. The shot goes off the post.
That's Weymouth. He has a cannon.
Just a first year for this team, and has had a very good season to this point. Weymouth, the second leading scorer on the team. Honorable mention all conference as a first year. Gets it back again, looks for the same shot. Bouncer this time, and it's 1-1.
So he goes high the first time, goes tube socks the second, and ties this thing up. Nice shot.
Central Catholic goal scored by number 8.
A goal
Damon.
coming with
Assist.
6:44 to go in quarter number one, and we're knotted up at 1. So just about a minute and 15 seconds between the two tallies, and now we've got an important face-off, and two face-off guys who don't have the greatest percentages but have worked hard in their first year as starters. Ben Canaday for Central Catholic on the opposite side, Jarvis Eck. Canaday wasn't supposed to be the starter, but a Ram transferred out, and he's really worked hard in his first year as the starting face-off guy for this Central Catholic team.
Well, no one has won a clean draw yet. Every ball has been 50-50, and that's kind of what we'll expect from new guys the rest of the night. It makes for some entertaining face-offs.
Tanner Naslin saved it for Nicholas Rowe, but Rowe is knocked out of bounds, and Central Catholic, after scoring their first goal, will get the ball back after a prolonged battle for possession. Working with it here is Owen Donegan, who Dave Sanford says is probably his best player, a guy who can do everything and is headed to play college lacrosse next year. Central Catholic looking for their first lead as they send some subs on. Neither team is deep, but Central Catholic certainly has a few more players available tonight. Working with it behind the net is Griffith Herrera. Dishing
Nice
it
move
off.
topside. There's Paxton.
That's Paxton Foster Kramer with his first save of the contest and immediately turned back over. Miscommunication there between Tanner Naslin and Sam Monks, and that's a benefit, a boon for the Rams as they have been able to create a lot more these last two possessions.
Really don't want Poles thrown to Poles only 5 yards away. He needed to just turn and survey the area and look for a shorty.
And a young fan and a tutu picks up the ball and will give it off to Liam Casey. She might be a Guardians fan, but just fun to get involved in the contest.
She had that tie-dye on. That was a good look.
This is Weymouth, who scored the lone goal thus far for the Rams to tie it up at 1. Lefty attack looking for options. We've already seen one goal scored from distance, but this would be ambitious, and he scores again.
You're just baiting him into that shot, weren't you, Seth?
Hey. Love to see these guys show off, and Weymouth on a shot that, I mean, it felt like it was much further out than the first goal of the contest from Henry Elkin, makes it 2-1 in favor of the Rams.
Well, he is the straw that stirs the drink for the Rams. He's not the guy that always gets the goal. In fact, I was about to say he's usually the one that draws the slide to create the mismatch, but he's taken it upon himself to be a little more aggressive with the shooting tonight already, as we can see.
Pair of goals scored in a 1 minute and 18-second span, and it's 2-1 Central Catholic with 5 minutes and 26 seconds to go on just a perfect night here in Portland. Ida B. Wells had a baseball game going just behind the grandstand on the opposite side, football practice, and everybody's happy to be out there as we've got a face-off violation against Central Catholic, and it'll go down as a win for Jarbazek.
Yeah, it looked like the Rams went a little early. Canada got a little anxious, tried to anticipate the whistle.
We'll see what the home team can do here after giving up back-to-back goals. Lone goal thus far for Ida B. Wells came from Henry Elkin. That goal scored just about 3 minutes ago. Working with it here is Reese Ayers. Ayers gives it off for Cannon Walter. Now behind the net, it's Nicholas Rowe. I'll send it all the way around and back up top for Henry Elkin.
You see right now Ida B. Wells playing a little two-man game on each side, a 2-2-2. They set up in pairs. They try to work off each other with pick and rolls. Now you have the two guys back at X doing the same thing.
Rowe with it behind the net against the long pole of Silas Levy. All the way back up top for Ayers. Ayers will dish it off, finds Carrick. Carrick looking for his shot, sends it wide, and it'll stay with Ida B. Wells.
They obviously trust that freshman goalie because they are sagging in pretty deep, just daring the Guardians to shoot from the outside.
Yeah, it seems like both teams have struggled to get anything shooting-wise in tight. And just like that, it's a nice long pole move from behind to deny what would have been a shot right on target. And getting tripped up and losing it is Josiah Lindsay after a great defensive play. And his teammates help him out. It's Owen Donegan picking up the loose ball. Chance in tight, and the pass goes just over the head there of Joe Denny. And it'll be collected by Paxton Foster Kramer. So both teams try to push it in tight and turn it over.
Yeah, as soon as you said no one's getting inside, Seth, I guess they took offense.
Yeah, the broadcaster's curse must be a real thing.
But those are both nice plays, and they do need to get the ball in there because these goalies, I think, are better than just giving up long-distance shots all night.
Smith swings it to the far side for Elkin. Elkin looking for the screen, won't take it. Now he does. Takes a shot from distance and scores. Anything you can do, I can do better. Elkin with his second long-distance tally, and we're tied 2-2 with 3:19 to go, and it's been a two-man show thus far on offense.
It really has, and both of them from deep. I like that. What he was able to do is come off the screen, and I'm not sure the goalie saw it until late. He hit the stick well.
Yeah, the sun is a problem right now, but it shouldn't be a problem for Central Catholic's defense. It's the opposite way with the sun setting to our right. Could be a serious issue in net for Kyan Tran. For Paxton Foster Kramer, getting my goalies right. After a face-off violation, Central Catholic looking to win clean control. Good prolonged battle. A couple players head to the turf. We've got a whistle, and this one is going to go against Ida B. Wells.
Referee's got a loose ball push. Clean it up, and here come the Rams.
Owen Donegan finds Liam Casey just onto the field, and Central Catholic, who held their lone lead at 2-1, will take it back. That lead lasted just over 2 minutes as we're down to 2:58 to go in quarter number one. Neither team is led by more than one goal in the early going.
Both teams have obviously settled down after that spate of unforced errors. We've seen a lot better offensive execution the last couple minutes.
Controlled here by Sasha Colley. Colley's dad, Jacob, is the JV head coach for the Rams. And
nice
Colley
fake.
dekes out the defender but sends it high.
That was a sweet, now you see it, now you don't. Had the defender turning his head and let one fly just a little high.
All the way up top for Liam Casey, 2.5 to go in quarter number 1. Over for Joe Denny. To the near side, and it's off either the post or the goalie. I think Foster Kramer might have gotten that one.
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Might have hit the mask there. It came off hard, and it will stay with Central Catholic. Neither team's goalies have really had any easy shots at them. Well, there it is. Again, broadcaster's curse as Finley Weymouth denied the hat trick.
Seth, you are on fire.
Foster Kramer loses it, but fortunately doesn't end up behind him in goal, and it'll be Ida B. Wells controlling it. They have committed a couple turnovers from this spot, but this time it's Sam Monks holding on and able to find the long pole of Tanner Naslade, who loses it. Both teams have been a little bit loosey-goosey in the midfield with possession, and Ida B. Wells wins it back.
Zebra lets that one go. I like it. Let him play. Failure. So the call there is if a team has 20 seconds once they control the ball to get it to midfield, and then they have 10 seconds once they get it across midfield to get it in beyond the 30. And they did not get it in the 10 seconds inside the 30, and so failure to advance gives the ball back to Central.
Central Catholic struggling on the clear, finally able to pick it up, and now the Rams will grab it with a minute 15 to go in the quarter. Both of these goalies have grown into the game. Paxter Foster Kramer made a couple saves that last possession. Central Catholic controls here with Sam Martin. Martin looking to bully his way through a pair of defenders, and it's stripped away.
That's just a nice play by Fletcher Hammond there. Gets the double team. Now he's going to take it down himself. Looking for that pole goal.
And he bounces it wide.
Oh.
Good look from Fletcher Hammond, the top defender on this team, according to head coach Kyle Hanks. And it'll stick with Ida B. Wells with 45 on the clock.
You could just feel his eyes getting bigger as he got closer to the cage.
Oh, a long pole goal is always electric, no matter what the score, what the time lags. Only thing better is a goalie goal. Here's a shot from distance.
That's
Kick
a nice save.
Kyan Tran didn't know where it was, but was able to get in front of it. Ball is loose with 25 on the clock, and Ida B. Wells will retain possession. Elkin coming up with the ground ball.
Goal here would be big. Finish the first quarter with a lead.
It's Ayers with it with under 15 seconds to go. Guarded by Isaac Connell, trying to keep him away from net. Down to 8 seconds. Ayers looking for options with 5. We'll dish it to the far side.
Can't go there.
And Ida B. Wells with a desperation shot. It's saved by Tran, and that will do it for the first quarter. Well, Damon, we expected a little bit of a lower scoring game with some good defense, and we got that. Nervy start, much better for both sides as we went along.
100%. Yeah, both of them kicked it around a little bit for the first couple minutes. Since then, they've settled down. And it's been the outside shooting that's put the points on the board so far.
Great saves by.
Well, you know both of these coaches very well. Let's start with Dave Sanford. What's his message going to be after the first 15?
I think he wants to get more movement through the middle. They're a good passing team, and I think they really only had one cutter. It's a little bit of fool's gold to sit outside with a decent goalie. You know, Paxton is a returning all-conference player. I know Weymouth was able to bury 2, but they're not going to get to 10. I don't think just doing that.
On the opposite side, Ida B. Wells, strong start, got that first goal, struggled a little bit. The turnovers have really seemed to cost them.
Yeah, at the midfield, they just have not gone from defense to offense very smoothly. I think they've generated better shots when they've had it, but they haven't had it as many times.
You're watching a production of Oregon Sports Beat and Rams TV. My name is Seth Orensky, joined by Damon Hess. It's 2-2 after the first quarter. Ida B. Wells jumped out to a 1-0 lead. Central Catholic with back-to-back goals in a minute 18 span, both of them coming from sophomore Finley Weymouth. And then the second goal of the quarter from Henry Elkin tied it up with 3:19 to go. This is an interesting one because both teams are likely to be higher seeds in the Cascade Cup if they don't sneak in to the higher bracket. We talked to Dave Sanford. We're not going to debut anything new. We're not going to give him any ideas. How much do you want to show in a game like this where you know that you could be facing off in a semifinal or the Cascade Cup final at Lake Oswego in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, it's interesting. Dave was a little coy about that, not wanting to bust too much out and give his Cascade opponent anything to chew on, whereas Kyle was just focused on today's game. He's going to run a little two-man, as he said before the game. We saw it already in the first quarter. He also said he'd alternate between zone and man-to-man on defense. Haven't seen much of that change, but we probably will here in the second quarter.
Well, it's been a fascinating season for Ida B. Wells. They've had so many guys missing due to injuries, all this other kind of stuff, that they've had players playing out of position. They've had to adapt and change to their personnel. Kyle Hinks thinks it's a big reason why they've been so successful. Their ability to deal with adversity, something that they were good at last year, but maybe even better this season after graduating a big-time senior class. And I think you're going to see both of these teams grow within this game and hopefully grow over these next couple weeks as they finish out the 2026 season.
Yeah, high school athletes, every season is a huge growing experience. A lot of these guys haven't played that much, and with the chance to have competitive games tonight and in the next couple weeks, I'm sure they're all excited to finish the season strong.
Two teams switch sides, and it's another battle for the faceoff. Neither team has had a clean win. And off of this prolonged search, we'll see who's able to pick it up. And eventually it's controlled by Ida B. Wells, Ken and Walter.
He's got room.
Walter with the man draped all over him. That is Ben Kennedy, the opposing faceoff guy, and got a whistle, and it looks like we're going to get a push against Ida B. Wells, and it'll go back to Central Catholic.
That's Kennedy's hustle right there. Even the faceoff guy, after battling it out to center X, had enough juice to keep going.
Well, even if you don't win the faceoff, if you get possession back, it's as if you did win the faceoff. Central Catholic nearly loses it in the midfield, pass slightly behind the midfielder, but it's kept alive, and eventually it's controlled by Fletcher Hammond. We've seen him really clean on those pickups.
Yeah, and here he goes again. He's already shot once, gets rid of it this time.
Yeah, I'm sure that his head coach, Kyle Hinks, was happy with that first shot, but hey, let's work our offense a little bit. We don't have as many subs. We want to make sure we get our best possible possessions. Is this shot from distance? Another kick saved from Kean Tran, denying Henry Elkin.
Elkin was looking for that hat trick.
That's the second kick save we've seen from these two goalies, and now it's Tran dealing with the sun here in the second quarter. I don't think it'll make a big impact to the second half, but certainly impacting the first two quarters for the team on this left side of the field defensively.
Yeah, it's really dropped, too. Those shadows are long. It's right in his face.
Elkin gets stripped just as he was about to shoot. That's Sam Martin forcing the turnover and eventually picked up by Tran.
And now they'll try to matriculate their way up the field nice and easy. See, that is what Kyle would like to see Ida B. Wells do. Easy clears. Nice play there by number 3. Who is that?
Oh, that's actually, that's Liam Casey, the do-it-all mid for Central Catholic.
Calm, cool, and collected.
Here's a chance from distance and shooting it low and in. Nice look from Sam Martin. Second team all-conference last year, gets his first goal of the game.
Rams goal scored by number 12, Sam Martin.
Martin with his first goal joins Weymouth on the scoreboard, and Central Catholic takes a 3-2 lead just over 2 minutes into the second quarter. 9:51 to go in quarter number 2, and this is a situation, Damon, where Central Catholic, you'd love to get this face-off, but if you're Ida B. Wells, you really haven't had a ton of great offensive looks recently. You need to win a couple of these clean to gain some momentum back, but instead it's the long Paul Owen Donegan winning it, going straight to goal and scores. First 2-goal lead for either team, and it's 2 goals in 8 seconds for the Rams.
He was waving that thing around like a magic wand. Couple of fakes. You don't normally see that from a pole, but he was very cool as he approached the crease and finished nicely over the top.
Donegan, second team all-conference long stick midfielder as a junior. He's headed to Santa Clara next year to play lacrosse, and I'm not surprised by this timeout at all if you're Kyle Hinks. 2 goals in 8 seconds. First time that you've trailed by multiple goals, just trying to likely calm his team down.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They come out and get 2 right away, and he's got 2 timeouts. He needs a chance to get him collected, tell him they know how to score. Let's get back to what we do best.
Yeah, how much of these next, let's say, 5 minutes in this quarter are about possession for IW Wells. It'd be great to score goals, but just settling in. We saw that a little bit to begin the first quarter where both teams were struggling with possession. Central Catholic seemed to be a little bit calmer the rest of the way, but again, IW Wells making some early mistakes.
Well, you commented earlier that when they were trying to kill that penalty, which they did, it forced them into a patient approach, which resulted in a couple of goals. They've gotten away from that, and as a result, they haven't got as many good looks.
On the opposite side, if you're Central Catholic, back-to-back goals, and they're creating some good chances. I mean, this has got to be what Dave Sanford is hoping for, his team kind of capitalizing on that. This is not a team that scores all that many goals. Both of these teams average under 6 goals per game. 4 in the first half has to feel pretty good, especially when you're talking about the first 3 minutes of the second quarter.
Well, again, neither of these teams have lost when they've scored in double digits, so 10 is your magic number, and he's 40% of the way there. But I know he'd like to increase this right now. He feels like he's got a little bit of momentum, so IW Wells has got to cut that short.
This is Eck versus Canada in the face-off spot, looking for a clean win. That's been the one thing that both teams have struggled to do. We've seen every single face-off battled for a while, as Canada almost has it. Eck had a chance at it, and eventually IW Wells comes away with it. Tanner Naslund on the draw, and then his pass in and out of the cage there, and it goes back to Central Catholic. Working.
That trouble at the midfield, sloppy midfield play has really hurt the Guardians here in the whole first half, really.
And a lot of it's been unforced. You're okay with turnovers where the opposing team's putting pressure, but that one you just would love to have back. They came out of the timeout. I'm sure they were looking for something offensively, and they're going to have to wait as this pass is sent low, but a good job picking it up by Sasha Colley, and just like that, it's 5-2.
The defender turned attackman is able to wiggle one through the shoelaces of Paxton, and now they have created a little separation.
So Colley gets his first, and all of a sudden 3 goals in 51 seconds, and it's a 5-2 lead. Now, the negative if you're Central Catholic is you've gone up 7-2 on this team and lost. The positive is you're putting together a really good spurt, a nice little run for the Rams here early in the second quarter.
For the Guardians, the midfield has made some mistakes in passing the ball, and it's obvious when the pass is made that the player that made the mistake. But I'm going to look at the attack right now and say that IW Wells' attack has got to come up and get the ball from their middies and their defenders. That's a push.
It's a good job by Rowe to come away with it despite the push in the back by Levy, and this is important if you're IW Wells. Another prolonged battle for the face-off win, and Rowe comes away with it. Now IW Wells, trailing by their largest deficit of the game for either team at 3, will look to come through.
So on that play, we both saw the push. The referee saw the push as well. He raises his hand. Had Central got the ball, he would have blown the whistle, but instead he just played advantage. Once IW Wells got it, he drops his hand and the play goes on. Nice pass.
Pass through the middle, but being forced to back out was Elkin. Good job by the defense crashing on him. Looking for the spin move is Carrick. High pass, controlled by Smith. So IW Wells looks for their first goal since 3:19 left in the first quarter. Already played 4+ minutes here in quarter number 2. And it's 3-0 thus far. IW Wells, or rather Central Catholic, to grab a 3-goal lead, as that pass was dangerous. Unfortunately ends up with Carrick.
Well, prior to that pass, I was about to say they've really been patient, and that's not a bad shot either. It goes straight to cage.
Yeah, Carrick sends it just wide after being tripped up. The goalie didn't see it, but it ends up going off the back of the helmet of a Ram, and that allows the Rams to come up with possession, almost stolen away. So that was some interesting moves from Isaac Connell to try to continue possession. Eventually, IW Wells just puts too many numbers on the ball and comes away with it.
Toby Carrick with a nice ground ball. He's a guy that's going to have to get going for him for sure. Their leading scorer had a nice drive on the last play. We'll see if he can't get on track here.
Elkin to the near side for Carrick. So IW Wells just had a good look on an interesting play by Carrick. Now a look to take it from the top, and he scores. First goal for Carrick, and just like that, the long scoring drought is over. It's 5-3 with 6:49 to go in the second quarter.
So the defender committed the fatal mistake of giving up topside with a outside dodger. You've got to keep him in the alley on the outside. You can't let him go across the front of the cage, especially not their leading scorer. He just has too much cage to work with, and there's no chance for the goalie there, especially looking into the sun.
Well, that's probably the best scoring look that they've had. They've really been settling for shots from distance. That time, Carrick gets straight in front of the goal and going downhill, and would have been a difficult save for any goalie as Kyan Tran has played well. Off the face-off, a pass that's just wide of Joe Denny. And just like that, Otteby Wells gets the ball right back despite not winning the face-off.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. He didn't have to do that.
Off the restart, it's Fletcher Hammond, who we've seen be really comfortable on these plays in transition. Eventually just flips up to Tanner Naslin, made that look really nonchalant. This is Rowe, 1v1 with the defender.
Trouble.
Spins around him, looking for an option cut of the net. Had Carrick, elected to hold on to it.
I'll say he had him. That's all right. Patience, right?
Yeah, it's not a bad possession if you get a good look. It's just maybe they had one look. Maybe they can get an even better one. We'll see. Either way, Kyle Hinks wants to see his team create good opportunities. Behind the net, working with it is Elkin, who scored the first 2 goals of the game for Otteby Wells. The last one scored by Toby Carrick. Carrick on the ball here, gets the screen from Rowe.
He is awfully comfortable with it for sure. I'm not doing a lot for him.
This is Cannon Walter sending one wide. Didn't get a ton behind it, and he'll stay with the Guardians.
That was an excuse me left hand. Forced to the left hand, decides to shoot it. I think everyone on the Otteby Wells sideline is happy he didn't go on cage because it probably would have been eaten up by Kyan.
Yeah, I think he decided to shoot that before he actually got to the left hand. Here's a shot from distance, whistled wide. Good look from Ivan Tapia, one of their midfielders / face-off guys.
That was a good look. This outside shooting, these guys are going to make me look bad. I said they should get it inside, and they just keep firing from deep.
5:15 to go. Looking for the turnaround shot and getting it knocked away was Harry Elkin. And Tapia trying to keep it alive, eventually picked up by Central Catholic. That looked like Liam Casey.
That was a slick ground ball.
Casey in transition
Showing
has a player
speed.
wide open. That's Weymouth. Weymouth finally grabs it, but at this point he's too deep, and he'll pull it back out. Weymouth scored the first 2 goals for Central Catholic. Behind the back pass, it's eventually picked up by the trailer. That was Dylan Schmick.
He's dangerous down there at GLE. That one just kind of slipped out of his stick.
Low shot through the wickets, and Sam Martin has his second, and it's back to a 3-goal lead with 4:36 to go.
Rams goal scored by
As they continue to live by that outside shot. That one was well placed, not necessarily the fastest shot, but he got him right at the shoelaces again. So far, Paxton has had a little trouble with those low balls.
6-3, 4:36 to go before halftime. Central Catholic took the lead with 9:51 to go in the second quarter, scored 2 more within the span of a minute, and able to score their first goal in just about 4.5 minutes to push their lead back to 3. Win the faceoff, and they'll look to extend this advantage as Finley Weymouth with it. Weymouth and Martin have 2 goals apiece. Sasha Colley and Owen Donegan with 1 apiece for the Rams.
And Owen Donegan has really started to dominate these faceoffs. Neither faceoff guy winning it cleanly, but Donegan on the wing has picked up 3 or 4 already here in the later part of this first half.
This is Liam Casey around his defender, forces the defense to shift, and he'll get it right back. Casey looking for options as the sun peeks out from behind a cloud. So is Weymouth dishing it across for Martin to the far side for Colley. Colley had 4 goals the first time these 2 teams met, sends a shot wide, and a good backup there. That might have been, well, that looks like Griffith Herrera to keep possession. Weymouth.
Really not putting much pressure on the ball handlers, leaving Central to work it around the outside, and they so far have been content to just fire from out there.
Sam Martin sends a shot wide.
Have they gone to the zone here? Let's see.
Central Catholic.
We've got Hammond up top. That's a guy that they might be able to clear to for a fast break if they put one on Cage.
Here's a shot from a tight angle. It's saved there by Foster Kramer. And immediately 2 Rams converge upon the ball and they get it right back. Foster Kramer, no, it's actually the long pole next to him who comes up with the turnover. And now a chance to break the other way. This is Ayers after the nice breakup by Sam Monks and another turnover in transition for IDB Wells.
That could definitely have been a lost in the sun right there.
That was a great play by Sam Monks on the pass from behind the cage, able to win that clean. But unfortunately, IDB Wells unable to handle the passing transition. Now it'll be Central Catholic looking to extend this lead. 2:35 to go in the second quarter. It's the Rams 6 and the Guardians 3. As 2 players meet. Liam Casey at midfield, and it's another turnover in transition. Picked up by Elkin. Elkin gets tripped up from behind, but they say play on. Elkin spins, looking to do it all himself, and his shot is knocked away by Tran. Loose ball scooped up there by Joe Denny, and a chance for Central Catholic in transition. It's Martin from distance, low shot, and there's the adjustment from Foster Kramer, able to get the low look. And it's IDB Wells, and all of a sudden we have a track meet on our hands.
Back and forth they go. This is going to be tough for both of these teams because they're not deep. We'll see if Wells takes the air out of the ball here.
Fletcher Hammond behind the net for Alex Smith. Now the positive is it's idyllic temperatures, but it's not that warm as the sun goes down. That'll help the players a little bit. Both of these teams playing their second game of the week. Central Catholic playing on Monday against Lincoln, IDB Wells on Tuesday night. Not that guys this age are nearly as likely to get fatigued as people of our ages.
I was thinking the same thing.
Toby Carrick with it with a minute 20 to go before halftime. If you're IDB Wells, you'd love to get a goal here.
Now this is a smart play by them to take a little time.
Cannon Walter tries to send a shot towards Cage. It's knocked down by a defender in front of net. Ball is loose and eventually picked up by the Guardians once again. Not for long, though. It's stripped away. There's a battle for the ball. And again, we're playing a little bit of hot potato. Eventually corralled by Central Catholic's Josiah Lindsay, and then he's stripped of the ball. 45 seconds left, and it feels like neither team's been able to hold on to it for more than a couple seconds. It's finally Tran, who's just a first year, but he is a large body in net and handles his stick well, and he's able to pick up the ground ball, and now it's Central Catholic with a chance for their largest lead of the game. Owen Donegan looked to go the whole way, and his pass looked like the attackman, that might have been Griffith Herrera, just looked off the ball as he was receiving it. That could have been Silas Beatty, though.
It's a freshman mistake, whether or not that was. No, I think that was Griffith Herrera. He's moving to goal. He needs to move to the ball. Easy for us to say up here, of course. But you got to catch it first before you can finish.
Yeah, it's that old adage. You can't score if you don't catch it. And it looked like he had his eyes focused on the goalie rather than the pass.
Again, we see Donegan creating a good scoring opportunity, though.
There's a no-look pass towards midfield. That's a dangerous look, but IDB Wells might get away with it. Nope, Central Catholic comes up with it. Still 10 seconds to go before halftime. Big time hit on the far side. IDB Wells controls. That was Tanner Naslin with 5. Can Naslin continue? Nope, we got a whistle. We have a timeout, or did someone step out of bounds?
Looks like timeout.
3 seconds to go on the clock. That doesn't give you a lot of time to create a shot. But that was certainly the most physicality that we've seen in this game after a first contest that maybe devolved into a little bit of a ruckus. This has been a pretty clean contest in terms of the contact. But you have to assume that's an IDB Wells timeout with possession. So what are you doing with 3 seconds?
I think the coach probably was yelling with a little more time, and the referees didn't acknowledge it till late. We don't have a perfect timekeeping system like you would in the NBA, for example, where they might put time back on the clock, but he's just trying to get one more out of it. So what do you do here? You're going to get the ball at about the 40 on the whistle. The guy's got to just feed the crease, sends a laser into the crease, and hopefully it finds a teammate who can quick stick it in. Not unheard of for sure.
Absolutely, and a chance to take advantage of this possession It was 2-2 after one. Central Catholic with 3 goals in a 51-second span early in the quarter to grab a 5-2 lead. Ida B. Wells answered to make it 5-3 with 6:49 to go. Central Catholic pushed their lead out to 6-3 with 4:36 to go in the quarter, and we've been scoreless for 4 minutes and 33 seconds.
Well, this is not unlike the first game with regards to the scoring, where Central was able to build a lead early. We'll see if it goes to form with Ida B. Wells able to close the gap.
Yeah, the ball's going to be just inside the 30 on the far side. It's Toby Carrick with it, and there's a lot of bodies in front of Kyan Tran. Carrick sends it towards net, sends it wide. That will do it. Well, Damon 6-3 at the half. It was 7-2 at one point in the first game in favor of Central Catholic. They cut it to, Ida B. Wells cut it to 7-4 and eventually worked their way all the way back in a 10-9 game. What do you see as the positives first for the Rams in terms of this second quarter, and not just their offense, but really shutting down Ida B. Wells, forcing them into some turnovers?
Yeah, their ride has been solid, meaning when Ida B. Wells is trying to take the ball in their clear from defense to offense, Central has marked up well and made it difficult for them and forced some errant passes. I wouldn't say there's been as many unforced errors as we saw early. There have been a couple, but most of those have been forced by the Rams in transition. And then on offense, they've really worked the ball well. Again, Wells is thin on defense, so they're not out pressing. And because the Central guys don't have defenders on their hands, they've been able to work the ball around, and they've scored all but one of their goals from outside of 10 yards.
4 different scorers thus far for Central Catholic, 2 each from Sam Martin and Finley Weymouth, 1 from Sasha Colley and Owen Donegan. On the flip side, if you're Ida B. Wells, you've done it once. What do they need to do, especially in that third quarter where they turned the tides the last time, to get back into this game?
Well, someone else, Toby Carrick is going to have to get going for him. We saw him with the ball, feeling comfortable, able to get topside and drill one from about 12 yards out. That was really his only. He had one other good look where he kind of fell down in the middle on a drive to the cage, and I think the goalie accidentally got in front of it. He's going to have to score some goals for him, and they really just have to avoid the rush that they're having to try to get it across midfield. You got 20 seconds. They haven't had a failure yet, so they can take some more time, be a little more patient to get it into the offensive end.
Henry Elkin with 2, Toby Carrick with the other goal for Ida B. Wells. 8 minutes to go before the start of the second half. We're going to take an audio break. We'll be back in about 7 minutes as it's Central Catholic leading it here on the Oregon Sports Beat /Rams TV. 1 minute to go before the start of half number 2. It's Central Catholic leading Ida B. Wells 6-3 on the Oregon Sports Beat and Rams TV. My name is Seth Orensky, joined by Damon Hess. Damon, we saw the first meeting between these two teams play out in a similar fashion in the first half. Central Catholic with the upper hand, 7-2 lead, was cut to 7-4 at halftime, a bad third quarter. I'm sure Dave Sanford has reminded his team about just how that first game went. What's the message if you're the Rams head coach about maybe keeping that pedal to the metal?
Pour it on. This is a game of runs, and no different than any other sport. The beginning of the second half is always a critical time. Can they come out and maintain the momentum? They certainly don't want to give away this hard-fought lead. But again, both teams are thin, and they were up and down in that second half. You mentioned it for a while. It turned into a track meet, so conditioning could become an issue. And that's a lot of heart. So getting them all pumped up and reminding them what they do best, that's, I'm sure, what went through the halftime speech for Sanford.
On the opposite side, for Ida B. Wells head coach Kyle Hinks, I think the script kind of writes itself. Hey, we've been in this spot. We've already picked up one win. What do they need to kind of fine-tune here to start the third quarter to get themselves back in this game?
Well, I think the attack really has to come forward to get the ball on these clears. They can't expect the defenders to pull it all the way down, or even the middies to get it all the way down into the attacking position. They got to come up closer to midfield, grab that ball, settle things down, and then get the ball to their goal scorer.
12 minutes on the clock. The sun is pretty much set, so there should be no issue seeing the ball here in the second half, as looking to win the faceoff was Eck, but coming away with it is the long pole for Central Catholic. That's Owen Donegan, who's maybe been the top faceoff guy for either team today, despite the fact he's not taking the faceoffs.
100%. He has been the difference maker there at the center X.
Josiah Lindsay has his pocket picked, but the ball is still loose, and eventually coming away with it for Central Catholic is Colley. Sasha had a big first game against Ida B. Wells, as he will swing it all the way across for Joe Denny. And there's the shot from Weymouth, who gets the hat trick. Dekes out his defender and scores his first goal since the first quarter.
The whole right side of the field was cleared out, and that's just a tough spot for any defender against a dynamic scorer like Finley Weymouth. He is, with the hat trick, proving that he is the straw that stirs the drink for the Rams.
That is 5 of the past 6 goals for Central Catholic. It was 2-2 after 1. So we have a whistle, and they're going to take Sasha Colley off the field. I don't know if there was an injury, some blood, but Colley comes off. He'll be replaced, and we will get back to even strength. That goal coming just 33 seconds off the faceoff, and essentially because of the faceoff, there was a little bit of a change of possession. It's 7-3 now, largest lead of the game for either team.
Jarvis Eck won that last faceoff, with just a little slow in getting to the ball, and Donegan just came in and hoovered that thing right up. We'll see if Eck's got something going here.
And Eck once again looked like he had a chance to win it. Eventually it's his teammate Tanner Naslund. But first we've got a whistle, and it looks like they're going to give the ball to Central. Nope. One referee was pointing that way. The other will say that it stays with Ida B. Wells. And the Guardians will get their first offensive possession of the second half, trailing by 4.
That's the rookie, Quentin Pearson, on this side. He's done a great job so far. Got a little mixed up between red and white. We'll let that one go. I guess I didn't let it go, did it? I just called him out. Sorry,
no.
Quentin.
It's a unique opportunity when you have a referee up in the broadcast booth. I'll let you make any commentary on the refs, who have done a great job tonight.
Quentin Pearson, a Division II lacrosse player, excellent young man, and he's going to make a fine official. Oh, there's the feed inside.
And somehow making the save is Tran, and then knocking it loose.
In.
They're going to They're going to wave it off. The back referee denying what would have been an insane goal there for Henry Elkin, and denying him his hat trick. Big first save from Tran, and then tried to knock it in, but maybe a crease violation?
Yeah, he stepped in. The referee was right in position to make that call. I trust it was the right call. It certainly would have been a big goal for Wells, but as it turned out, it was not to be.
Back-to-back turnovers, and then a massive hit on Owen Donegan, and the flag flies, and I think we'll see our first penalty since the first quarter. It's going to be the second call against Ottaby Wells, and it looks like Fletcher Hammond, their top defender, goes down. That's a double whammy.
Yeah, it is, to have him out. I missed that one, but I did see that Donegan went down. Perhaps he was the culprit.
Donegan turned it over, or at least his pass aiming for Dylan Schmick was unable to be successful. Then he comes up with a loose ball in possession and gets knocked down. So it's the second man-up opportunity for Central Catholic. They turned it over early on their first possession back in the first quarter. See what they can do with a man-up.
Right away, there's more movement than the first time.
Working with it on the far side is Weymouth with the hat trick. Down low, struggling with possession, but able to hold on is Herrera. That's Griffith Herrera. Santino, the other Herrera, wearing 13. And there's a shot from distance and a big-time save from Paxton Foster Kramer. Denying the look from distance from Sam Martin.
We'll see if that gets Foster Kramer going. Again, he's a returning all-conference goalie. Had a little bit of a rough first half, but I expect him to really come on strong here in the second.
Working his way across midfield is Cannon Walter. We've got a flag flying. We'll see a penalty upcoming against Central Catholic. The pass for Rowe is intercepted, and that will cause the whistle to blow. So back-to-back turnovers again. This game got a little physical, got a little ugly the first time in the third quarter, and just like that, 2 early penalties, as this time will be Finley Weymouth as the guilty party.
1 minute left.
That's a clearing defender with the attackman getting a shot at him, not hitting any stick, and so Stroh picked him up for a slash. The Ida B. Wells Guardians will have a man advantage. Well, they won't. They'll be 5-on-5 here to start because they still have a few seconds on Hammond's penalty. So they'll probably hold it for the remaining time of Hammond's penalty, and then they'll be man up for maybe 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'd say anywhere from 30, maybe 35-second man-up opportunity. It will be the first time this game that Ida B. Wells, and nope, we were wrong. It was about 3 seconds to go on the penalty, so nearly a full 60 here for Ida B. Wells to work with as they look to get their first goal of the second half. 9:10 to go in this third quarter. Looking for the shot, bounce shot, and Tran knocks it down. It was a look from distance from Alex Smith, and Tran has grown into this game.
Yeah, he's had a real nice game so far. That wasn't an easy save right at his feet. Was able to pick it up and control it.
Owen Donegan takes it from his own half across midfield, looking for a passing option. Finds one, and now it's Central Catholic that'll look to slow it down and kill off the rest of this penalty.
Well, Ida B. Wells was going to set up in a zone, and now that they realize there's still a man up, they're going to try to go out and pressure. Here comes 9 for the double.
This is Sasha
Walter.
Coley still working against Cannon Walter. Walter trying to push him across midfield on it. Successful there. Coley looking for a pass option. We'll go back to the far side. This is Weymouth, and we're back to even strength with 8:15 to go in quarter number 3. Just the one goal thus far. That one came early from Weymouth, and he looks for a fourth, and an easy save for Foster Kramer at eye level.
Yeah, that's, again, he's a good goalie. He had let some long ones go in the first half, but I wouldn't expect too many more of those in the second.
Ida B. Wells, another turnover in transition. This was Finley Weymouth, and it just seems they're a little nonchalant on some of these passes.
They're trying to clear within the first 8 seconds. Reverse your field, and you're going to walk across the line. They just haven't been patient enough.
Weymouth from behind the cage. Looks like he wants to pass and will eventually dish it off. Weymouth's the guy you have to watch no matter where he is on the field. So he'll dish it off for Sam Martin, who's a goal away from a hat trick of his own. Martin with a pair of defenders behind him, able to slip it in front. Losing it just as he was going to shoot was Coley. Ball still loose. We've got a bit of a push, and I think that's going to change possession as Ida B. Wells will get it back.
Yeah, I don't know if that was checked out of his stick or it just flew out of his stick, but he was right on the doorstep. There we go. That's
straight ahead to Carrick, who's nearly stripped of the ball. Able to get across the line, loses his footing. Still able to hold on to it for a bit, and eventually it's popped loose, but able to come across and get there first is Henry Elkin. Elkin with a look at goal, and he sends a bounce shot wide.
So that was a case, though, of Carrick coming back for the ball. Was able to get it at the 50, and now they have a chance at a settled possession.
I mean, you and Elkin going one-on-one with the goalie, with the defender struggling to get over in time. It's one of the best looks we've seen for Ida B. Wells in a while. The Guardians still scoreless. They cut it to 6-3 with 4:36, or rather 5-3 with 6:49 to go in the second quarter. They've been scoreless for nearly 12 minutes.
Here's their guy.
Toby Carrick calling out instructions.
We're going to clear through, dodge down the right alley.
Carrick out to row.
All he's trying to do is draw a slide right there, so the defense has to adjust. That's a nice pass. Oh, it was a nice thought, not a nice pass.
Yeah, row just ahead of Elkin, who was making the cut to net, and another turnover. Central Catholic in transition. It's Martin. Martin dishes it off. Thinking about the shot was Colley. Now he takes a left-handed shot wide, and there's two Rams backing it up, so it'll stay with Central Catholic.
Henry Elkin showing some speed getting back on defense. I'm sure the track team would love to have him.
That was the right cut from Elkin. Just pass was a little bit too far ahead. Otherwise, he might have had an easy goal.
Yeah, he had broken free down the middle.
Martin from distance, just a little high and wide. It'll stay with Central Catholic. We've got a whistle behind the play, and it looks like we're going to get a penalty, our third of the quarter, and this might be Jarvis Eck, the face-off guy for Ida B. Wells, heading off.
Looks like he's got another slash.
5:40 to go in what has been a more physical third period. We really saw it to end the second. There was that big hit late in the final minute of the second quarter that started to pick up the physical intensity.
Yeah, Naslin smoked the Ram right up in front of their bench. I don't know if that picked everyone up or not, but you're right. There have been more penalties since that moment.
Pass trying to slip it inside of Griffith Herrera. It's knocked out, and it'll go back to Ida B. Wells. Felt like Central Catholic was being really patient on that possession, as they're gonna say it is off of Ida B. Wells, and it'll stay with Central Catholic. Seems like the Rams are really patient on this possession until maybe that pass where they tried to force it a bit, but they seem to recognize we've got a 4-goal lead. Things are going our way. We don't need to press on offense.
Absolutely. And they've got multiple scoring options, as we've seen. And as we say that, what do? They run right into a double.
Martin right into the double team, and it's Fletcher Hammond who picks up the loose ball. Now he's looking for help, and someone will have to provide an option. Eventually it's Tapia, and the shot goes wide. Somehow stays with the Guardians. The two players for the Rams were late. We've got a timeout, and I think at this point either coach might be willing to take it to talk things over with their group. A little bit of a frenetic, maybe some puzzling moves by both sides in the last minute or so of play. The good news is if you're Central Catholic, you hold a 4-goal lead. If you're Ida B. Wells, despite not playing well on offense, you're still in this game. It feels like these last 4 minutes and 57 seconds of this third quarter could be crucial because neither team has dominated this third quarter. Just the one goal early from Weymouth for Central Catholic.
Yeah, something's got to give here. If Central puts a couple more in, then it's really going to be difficult with Ida B. Wells not generating much on offense. But, of course, this is the ultimate game of runs, and if Ida B. can put a couple in, then the ghosts of games past will certainly enter the mind of both squads as they remember what happened in that first meeting.
Yeah, Ida B. Wells has scored 8 goals on 2 occasions, and on 3 occasions, and they've won 3 times. On the opposite side, it's been a while for Central Catholic since they've earned a victory. It goes all the way back to the first weekend of the season when they earned a 10-6 win over Skyview High School in their opener. 10 consecutive losses, it sounds like it's a bad season. Then when you take into account the difficulty of their competition within the Columbia League, the difficulty of their schedule playing a lot of top 20 teams, this is a Central Catholic team that this win could help propel them to a strong playoff run in the Cascade Cup, even if it won't necessarily help them get into the state playoffs, as we will see Ida B. Wells with possession out of the timeout, 4:57 to go, and for the Guardians, they're looking to end a scoreless streak that is now just shy of 12 minutes.
They've got to get something going here. The offense needs a spark. So I've been wondering whether or not it's going to be Toby Carrick But if he's not the guy to step up, one of these guys is going to have to make something happen. And the goalie's been hot enough that it's not necessarily going to be an unassisted goal. Draw and find your buddy and make that goalie move, and out of position, you're going to have a better chance of hitting the twine.
This is Alex Smith with it, with the defense extending on him. He has Carrick available, and we'll find him. Carrick's been trying to take charge. They just haven't been able to connect on some of the passes. Here's Carrick facing the defensive Donegan. Top attacker versus top defense, and the shot from distance. It's Tran making another save. He's been really good in this second half.
Haven't been keeping track, but I'll bet that's at least a dozen for him.
The pass through the middle, dropped and then picked up by Dylan Schmick. Schmick then stripped the ball from behind by Henry Elkin, and it's corralled by Jarvis Eck. We're back to even strength. Working with it is Elkin, who's got 2 of the 3 goals thus far for Ida B. Wells.
2 in the first 5 minutes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's tied it at 2-2 with 3:19 to go in the first quarter. They've scored 1 goal since the 3-minute mark of the first quarter. That's been a big reason why they have struggled to stick with this Central Catholic team. Their offense has just not been able to generate great chances against Kyan Tran. This is Rowe with the long pole on him. Over for Kenan Walter. Carrick from the near side, looking for an option, trying to back down his defender. Behind the net as the defender loses his stick, still working with it, takes the jump shot and scores, and that was all Toby Carrick.
Yeah, he took it on himself. He is the scoring leader, and sometimes you got to get a little selfish. I do think Donegan got hung up behind the net there, and then nobody slid the body. They all wanted to hit his stick, and he's too shifty for that.
Well, the leading scorer for the Guardians gets his second of the game to match Henry Elkin. 7-4 with 3:07 to go in the third quarter. That snapped a scoreless streak for both teams of 8 minutes and 20 seconds. It was the first goal for Ida B. Wells in just over 13 minutes of game action. It's a big face-off in a 3-goal game, and it is won by Central Catholic.
He's going straight to cage.
Ben Candidate looking to go all the way, tries to get a left-handed shot off, and finally it's picked up by Paxton Foster Kramer. That looks like maybe a little bit too much with 2 guys draped all over Candidate.
He's trying to go a little Jim Brown there. Put the ball against your chest and put your head down.
This is Henry Elkin looking for back-to-back goals, and his bounce shot. A third of the game for Elkin, and it looks like Elkin maybe got knocked off his line a little bit, and that fooled the goalie Tran. That is 2 goals in just under 30 seconds, and all of a sudden it is 7-5 with 2:38 to go in the third.
Hey, like we were just saying, this is a game of runs. Central Catholic had a chance man up at 7-3 to go up 8-3. Weren't able to close the door, and all of a sudden, here come the Guardians.
I don't want to say we've seen this before, but these 2 teams have seen this before in a fashion. 7-5 after the first game was 7-2 Central Catholic, and Ida B. Wells came all the way back to take a 10-9 win. Winning the loose ball is Owen Donegan.
Who else?
Central Catholic hasn't scored since the 11:27 mark, or 11:27 left in this quarter, and it's a turnover. Ida B. Wells with a chance for a 3rd consecutive goal. Unable to make the catch there is Elkin, battling for possession as he will tiptoe along the sideline, working against the Silas Levy, the defender. Ball is still loose, and no one has it quite yet. Finally corralled by Connor Donegan, the brother of Owen Donegan.
Donegan brothers going a little Kirby vacuum on us, sucking these ground balls up.
Liam Casey leaves the defender in his wake. 1:40 to go. Chance in sight and scoring a huge goal is Finley Weymouth, his 4th, and that'll take a little bit of the air out of the sails of this Ida B. Wells team. Had a chance on one side to cut it to 1. Instead, you leave the one guy you don't want to leave open, and it's a 4th for Weymouth and an 8-5 lead with 1:37 to go.
Yep, so close to cutting it within 1. Unable unable to get that ground ball, and then they go the other way, and you can't leave Weymouth open. In unsettled situations, he is a terror.
Well, we saw the first goal of this half about 30 seconds in, then a stretch of almost 8.5 minutes scoreless, and now 3 goals in the past 90 seconds. There's still 90 seconds left in this half or more. Owen Donegan almost had it. Now he has it stripped away, and eventually coming away with it is the long pole, Josiah Lindsay.
Well, they even switched up. It looks like they had Carrick on the side on that one, trying to get a ground ball. Still unable to do it. And here they go again.
Weymouth with another one, his 5th of the game.
Is he having a day?
2 goals in 24 seconds, and just like that, it's back out to a 4-goal lead.
Feeling it. That was just high heat right there, hitting the upper 90.
Rams goal scored by number 9, Finley Weymouth.
And every sport, it's not just lacrosse, but every sport, a game of inches, a game of these mini runs. IDB Wells felt like they had all the momentum going their way. They turn it over, 2 goals from Weymouth in quick succession, and just like that, a 4-goal lead. Again, still a lot of time left, a minute 13, but it feels like Central Catholic is now back in control of this contest.
Well, when you're winning faceoffs, you can play make it, take it, and that's a big difference in lacrosse. So the runs can be even more wild because you don't necessarily get the ball back every time.
Weymouth has matched the IDB Wells team with his 5 goals. He has been the dominant scorer in this one, as we're going to get another penalty. Pair of players hitting Jarvis Eck, the face-off guy, and it looks like it's going to be the opposition face-off man, Ben Kennedy, who's going to be whistled for the foul.
That's a push with possession. So the IDB Wells, I think was it the face-off?
I think it was the face-off man who would have had possession.
Jarvis Eck picked up the ball, had possession, and got pushed from the back. So that's a 30-second technical foul for IDB Wells. They'll be up 30 seconds, up a man.
I think the two teams are combined 0 for 4 on the man up. This feels like IDB Wells needs to come out with their best play and potentially get a goal back after those back-to-back goals from Weymouth.
Yeah, that's a good call. Down 4, they can cut it to 3 going into half. That'll be a big psychological boost for them.
Up top for Ayers. Ayers leaves it off for Elkin. Swing it all the way around. There's Carrick, who didn't get all of it. 50 seconds to go, maybe 5 to 10 seconds left on the man up. Still time here if you're IDB Wells, trailing by 4 late in the 3rd quarter. The backside pass, and it's intercepted there. Liam Casey goes up the ladder. Casey gets around 1. We're back to even strength, and Casey wants more. Across midfield, stripped of the ball. It's loose with 3 Wells players there and 3 more for Central Catholic. 23 seconds to go in the quarter. It's out of bounds, and which way will we point? It's going to go back to Central Catholic.
And Casey just tried to do a little too much on his own. He made a great steal, got it up to midfield. Needed to just kind of roll back, but again, easy for us to say up here.
Yeah, mine was my miscue. It's IDB Wells with possession with 14. Can they generate something? Down to 10. Pass behind is knocked away. That was great stick work from what looked like Joe Denny. And it's not going to be Denny because it's double digits and then a huge hit. Let's establish it was Isaac Connell with the ground ball and the forced turnover, and then he gets wiped out along the sideline with 1 second left. Let's see if we're going to get a foul or just a foul, or if they're going to wave some laundry and put someone in the penalty box.
I didn't see any linen, but he is talking to the bench.
There's 1 second to go. We saw a big hit late in the 2nd, and now big hit late in the 3rd, as it looks like someone is going to serve a penalty. We'll get you the name and number potentially in between quarters. So now they're switching who was going to serve it. Looks like it's going to be Henry Elkin, who eventually is kneeling down. There's 1 second left in this quarter. The quarter is over, but we're going to wait it out.
The advantage here is on a man-down situation, whoever has the ball at the end of the quarter retains possession, so there will be no face-off to start the 4th. Central will have the ball man up for however long this penalty is.
The one thing that we needed there was a ball.
That's right.
We had everything worked out except for a ball. That will do it for the 3rd quarter. For long periods,
Goals penalty number
we were stuck at
8,
7-3, and then a flurry of goals. 4 goals in the final 3:07, 2 for each side. Ida B. Wells cut it to 7-5, and then 2 late goals from Findlay Weymouth pushed the lead back out to 9-5. Central Catholic will have the ball and a man-up opportunity, and it feels like if the Rams can add 1 or 2 more, they can probably put this game away and earn their first conference win of the year.
Yeah, we talked about 10 being the magic number. Neither team has lost a game when they've been able to get to double digits, and Central's right on the doorstep.
And realistically, while Findlay Weymouth is a big reason why this team is potentially going to pick up their first Columbia Conference win, Owen Donegan's production cannot be understated. His play, not just on defense, but on faceoffs has been huge because neither faceoff guy has won many, if any, clean. It's been the guys coming in who have been able to come up with possession, and Central Catholic certainly has had the better end of winning faceoffs.
Yeah, you're right. It's not often that a wing player is the dominant force on the faceoffs, but Owen Donegan has been that guy, and probably what we haven't given him enough credit for is we've been asking for Toby Carrick to really step up, and he did in that third quarter. He got his second goal, but Donegan has been playing LSM on the faceoff and then going down and playing him one-on-one as a close pull. So he's really had a nice game. Weymouth will get the accolades for the 5 goals, and he should. He has really brought it today, but so too is Owen Donegan. And, of course, the goalie. The freshman in the cage has been solid.
Coming off an injury, couldn't play on Monday, wasn't healthy enough to, well, he's in there today and has played really well. Kyan Tran has come up with some big saves. I think even Paxton Foster Kramer on the opposite side had a much better third quarter as well. Still 12 minutes to go in this one. It's anybody's game. The first time these two teams met, it came down to the final 3 seconds of the game. We'll see if we have as tight of a finish here as Central Catholic leads it on the Oregon Sports Beat and Rams TV, 9-5 after 3 quarters. My name is Seth Orensky, joined by Damon Hess. And Damon, just as we said at the start of the last couple quarters, these first couple minutes, can Central Catholic take advantage of man advantage and actually score one? Neither team has thus far. 5-goal lead, that probably would feel insurmountable on the opposite side. Can Ida B. Wells kill off a penalty and then potentially score 1 or 2 and put the pressure back on the Rams?
Yeah, the Rams would like to turn this into a snoozer by cashing one in right here. But it's the 4-goal lead. It seems like a lot because Ida B. Wells only has 5, but we watched them score 2 goals within about 20 seconds in that third quarter. So these are high school kids. The ups are high and the lows are deep. So we'll find out who's going to bring it in the fourth.
It'll be Central Catholic ball to start the fourth quarter. They're up a man for 59 seconds. It's pretty easy math after the penalty to Henry Elkin with 1 second to go in the third quarter. Neither team has scored on the man up, and a big part of it has been that. Just being a little bit sloppy with the ball, turning it back over, helping out the defense. But it's corralled there by Sasha Colley. Colley still with it. Still tons of time on this man-up opportunity, but it skips off the stick of Liam Casey towards midfield. Casey keeps it alive, but nearly coming up with it is Ivan Tapia, and eventually it will be picked up by Tanner Naslund of the Guardians. He throws it through the middle. No one's there, and trying to track this down is Owen Donegan. You can see the talent on this field, but you can also see both of these teams are still working through some growing pains.
Yeah, they have good players, and then they have players that need to service their role, and they get exposed when they get put under pressure. The Ida B. Wells team is again shorthanded on the defensive end. They'd like to be able to pressure more like they did in that first man up, but when you get a situation like this where is that Elkin, who's been out there almost the entire game, to ask him to go out and press on D is probably a bridge too far.
We're back to even strength. Elkin back out there, but over a minute gone by and Central Catholic controls. They don't even need to necessarily score on these possessions, but if they can kill some clock and generate some opportunities, that'll go a long ways. Here's the shot that goes wide, and off cage, Liam Casey will give possession back as it was Ida B. Wells closest to the line behind the cage, and it'll be Guardians ball with 10.5 to go in regulation.
That'll drive a coach crazy Rams had 2 guys at GLE. Just even one of them could have stepped back 2 feet. They would have had the ball back, but instead it goes as a turnover, basically.
In transition, Tapia left out to dry a little bit there. Made the catch, but immediately hit. Ball squirts loose, and it's corralled, picked up there by the Rams. This is Trey Trimberger. Haven't seen a lot of him today, but he had the ground ball. He had it stripped loose, and eventually it'll be picked up by Ida B. Wells. Working with it is Elkin.
Unsettled situation. Let's see if he tries to go to cage.
Elkin looking to deke out his defender. Gets to the middle, left-handed shot, and he scores. Elkin's got his 4th of the game, and it's Ida B. Wells who strikes first. 9:51 to go, and the deficit is back to 3.
It's the Elkin and Weymouth show. Those two have 9 of the 15, and that was with the left hand. Took him a while to get it all cocked and loaded, but that was well placed. A bouncer, I think, off hip.
Yeah, he knew where he was trying to get to. He knew the spot and able to generate a good bounce look. 9-6, 9:51 to go. So Ida B. Wells cut it to 2 late in the 3rd quarter, but Weymouth responded with 2 to push the lead back out to 4. Ida B. Wells wins the face-off, but immediately there's contact. The ball is loose, and we're going to get a foul against Central Catholic. It looked like it was Canaday who was fouling Reese Ayers, and Ida B. Wells will retain possession.
Yeah, he kind of fell over on him, so they called it a loose ball hold. Good call.
Toby Carrick through the middle and unable to make the catch, but Elkin has time to recover. 9:20 to go. Tons of time left in this game if Ida B. Wells can really play some clean offense.
What are they doing here? They're going to try to get a pick at X.
It's Elkin taking the pick from Cannon Walter, who we haven't called his name a lot in terms of scoring. It's still Elkin. All the goals thus far have been from Elkin 4 and Carrick 2. No secondary scoring. Shot from distance, high and wide from Alex Smith.
Just a bit outside.
Cannon Walter had that game-winning goal the first time against Central Catholic. And it's Carrick here. Toby has it stripped away by the long pole of Donegan. This is a long run from everyone, and it'll be Isaac Connell overrunning it. Rowe comes underneath him, and we've got
ran out of bounds.
No, Rowe literally took out the legs of the Rams defender, and that time his size actually hurt him.
That was a nasty check by Donegan.
Donegan with the ball here. 8:27 to go, and Central Catholic will look to get something going. Again, they don't have to press offensively. They can extend some of these possessions, but saw an early look on their last possession. This is Dylan Schmick. Weymouth with it, 5 of the team's 9 goals to this point.
And they're going to force them to come out now. So there is no shot clock in high school lacrosse. The referees can, if they feel like Central is not, either team is not making an attempt on the goal, they can tell them to keep it in, which would force them to keep the ball under the 30-yard line. But they're far from that. They're far from that.
Well, and with Finley Weymouth in his hot hand, he wanted the opportunity. He was given some space, sends his shot wide of the near post, and Ida B. Wells will get it back. I think the other part is you've got to tell your guys, hey, even if you have a good look, let's make sure that we're putting this on cage, getting the best possible look. These are 2 younger teams, and now it's a chance for Ida B. Wells again, down by 3. It was 2-2 after 1, extended out to 6-3 after 2, and 9-5 after 3. As here's a shot, Carrick, big rebound that pops out, and eventually it's picked up by who else? Owen Donegan, who's going to draw a foul. 2 guys took him out, and here comes the whistle. Donegan is still down.
Oh, no. Don't like to see that.
Absolutely not. He has been humongous in this game, a senior who's heading off to college next year to play lacrosse, and hopefully he is up shortly. His brother's on the team.
Hopefully it's just a bruise. He did get a stick. Yeah, he had a stick go between his legs and off the shin. That really smarts, but that'd be a lot better than a twisted joint. Tough to say from here. Nice to see him standing and getting off under his own weight, but maybe a teammate to help him there.
Yeah, head coach Dave Sanford walked out. Now it looks like he's walking a little bit better, although there's definitely going to be some pain after today, even if he's okay. But, yeah, there is a noticeable limp from Owen Donegan, who's been one of, if not the best player in this game. And Nick Rao will be the guilty party. So it's a man-up opportunity for Central Catholic, and now they just have to hope that Owen Donegan is okay, because he's going to be a crucial part of any kind of playoff run. Certainly one of the leaders on this team. And a nice sign of sportsmanship as he comes over and talks to Rao over on the sideline, and then he'll be attended to by one of the trainers. Back to live action. What's the best way to make sure that your defense is okay without their top player? How about a longer possession, maybe a man-up goal? Neither team has had one of those today. It's on the near side. Schmick picks up the loose ball with 6:38 to go. Central Catholic
content to just banging around the outside right now, not taking too many chances, probing the middle.
Yeah, they haven't gotten that first goal of the quarter yet, but they've been able to hold Ida Wells to just the one goal. Here's a shot in tight. Getting knocked away was Sasha Colley's effort, and then I think we've got a crease violation against Central Catholic, and just like that, Ida Wells will get a rare possession where Owen Donegan's not going to be able to anchor that back line. Foster Kramer through the middle, and it's knocked down nicely by Trimberger. And the long pole, Josiah Lindsay will pick it up. Another turnover in transition for Ida Wells.
Neither team's man up hasn't even really generated many good shots, let alone scored.
At some points, it's hard to tell if they're a man up.
He's got a guy. He's got a guy.
Turnover in transition. This is Cannon Walter trying to get around a defender. A second defender comes, and Walter will back it off. 5:35 to go.
Looked like he had a straight line to the goal, but the righty wanted to keep it in his right hand. Couldn't transfer to the left. As a result, at least he didn't turn it over. So Wells has a chance to cut it to 2.
Central Catholic without Owen Donegan, one of their best players and their best defender. So it's a chance for some of these other, maybe younger defenders to step up over this final 5-10. This is Rao, who was penalized for that hit on Donegan.
Carrick wants it. He's pulling him out. Excited not to have Donegan on him.
Double teamed, flips it out for Walter. Walter across for Smith. The lefty back behind the net, 4:50 to go. Still time here if you're Ida Wells. This is Rao looking for a shot, has it stripped away. Ball is loose.
Nice stick.
Rao able to save it over for Reese Ayers. 4.5 to go now. Ida Wells scored the first goal of this quarter. That was all the way back at 9:51. We've been scoreless for over 5 minutes.
Patient so far.
Yeah, patient, but it's knocked away there. That might be Gustafson behind the net. And we're going to whistle. That was actually Kellen Malicki who stripped Rao. And it'll stay with Ida Wells with 4:09 to go. Guardians with the ball. They've had it for a while now, but they desperately need to find the first of these 3 goals just to force overtime. The active stick there of Trimberger.
Oh, nice play.
We've seen more of Trimberger in this second half, and he's been good as we've got a whistle, and it's going to go back to Ida Wells. Nope, I think that was a mispoint because now we're pointing to Central Catholic. I think I got that one right.
He did point White's possession to start, and then either changed his mind or was overruled. I thought the Ram did get pushed in the back.
This is Kyan Tran, the goalie, with it.
Uh-oh.
And that's an errant pass that fortunately ends up in the stick of Malicki. Malicki's pass is intercepted by Walter, and that's where you miss Donegan, his ability to kind of take it himself in transition.
100%. He's been almost a one-man clear here for the Central Catholic Rams. That's a bomb.
Shot from distance and another save for Trant. If Central Catholic can just get some successful clears, probably can win this game based off the fact that Ottaby Wells just hasn't been able to generate good looks offensively. They've had lots of possession time. And a nice job getting it across and into the attacking zone is Liam Casey.
Yeah, he's got good wheels, protects his stick well, got it across. Now they can take some time off the clock.
Under 3 minutes to go. Central Catholic looking for their first win since the season opener. 10 consecutive losses, trying to win their first Columbia Conference League game of the year. Pick up a win in their second to last regular season contest. This is a team, though, that has high hopes for a potential run in the Cascade Conference. Currently ranked 27th in the Oregon High School rankings. Top 24 make it. There's a chance at another save on the opposite side from Foster Kramer. Both of these goalies have really picked up their play in the second half.
Yeah, they've been excellent. You're absolutely right.
This is Hammond able to get around Weymouth, and now Hammond will look to lead his attack. Hammond, a little bit high, and going up the ladder to make the catch is Smith. Now it's do or die time if you're Ottaby Wells. 2 minutes and 4 seconds left. You got to score and score soon. A big time save from Tran, picking up the loose ball for a moment there, and that's nice play by Jarvis Eck, the face-off guy who gets knocked down. Ball's loose, and we're going to see a foul against Central Catholic. Guardians have not given up hope, despite the fact they still trail by 3 with a minute 52 to play.
Almost a must-score situation here.
It'll be Eck on the restart. Working with it is Reese Ayers. Here's 1v1 with the defender, looking for an option. Left-hand shot and scores.
Okay.
That is the third player today who scored a goal for the home team. And just like that, it's 9-7. Back-to-back goals to start the fourth quarter for Ottaby Wells. The problem is they still need 2 more, and there's just a minute 42 to go.
So they do just need 2 more. But now that we're under 2 minutes, when Central gets the ball at their end, once they touch it inside the 30, they'll have to keep it in. So it's get it in, keep it in for the last 2 minutes.
The other huge part is the best player in the faceoff today has been Owen Donegan. Donegan, the player who went down injured. He's still on the sideline. Looks like his day is done. This could help Ottaby Wells potentially win some faceoffs without Donegan in there. A minute 42 to go. Certainly not an insurmountable deficit if you're Ottaby Wells. They trailed by 2 in the third quarter, but immediately Weymouth responded with 2 goals in a row. This next goal will be crucial. That's if we have a next goal, as Eck wins it clean, loses his stick and the ball, and we've got a whistle.
No, I think he got the timeout. Yes,
and
he got
a timeout. You called it, Damon. All of a sudden, Ottaby Wells has a little bit of air in their sails. That injury to Owen Donegan, first off, we hope Owen is okay, but certainly has changed the tenor of this game a little bit. If you're Ottaby Wells, what is the message with a minute 36 down by 2?
Well, you have a set play right here. Absolutely, you're coming out with the set. I'm guessing you're going to try to finish with your top scorer, but you very well without Donegan in there, you might have him try to get him isolated. Otherwise, you have Carrick draw, and then Elkins has obviously had the hot hand with 4 goals. But whatever it is, it's a set play. And you don't have to work that fast. Surprisingly, with a minute and a half left, because you would go back to the center X if they score, don't have to be in too big of a hurry. That sounds counterintuitive with only 90 seconds left, but this is a lot of time in a lacrosse game.
Well, the funny thing is, the last time these two teams played, 30 seconds to go, it was Ottaby Wells' ball. They call a timeout. Kyle Hinks was like, we didn't do what we were supposed to, but we still scored the goal with Ken and Walter coming up with the game winner. We'll see if they're able to execute here. If on the other side, you're Central Catholic and Dave Sanford, what are you imploring your team to do? You're down your best defender. How do you regroup the troops here and get this win?
Yeah, they haven't had to help too much on Carrick so far because Donegan has been locked down. Now you do. And they need to slide early and really just watch the two guys. Of course, you're not just guarding two guys, but you have to pay special attention to slide to both of them. And true to form, here Carrick's going to start with the ball.
Yeah, Trey Trimberger appears to be the player that's replaced Owen Donegan. He's made some plays with the long ball. It'll be Carrick as we restart with a minute 35. Shout out to the DJ who just played Don't Call It a Comeback.
Wait.
They
have moved Sasha
Colley back to defense.
Yes.
That's where he started this year.
Sanford pulling out all the stops. He was an all-conference defender last year before they moved him to attack this year to get more goals. He's back in there now to try to close this game out.
Cannon Walter able to score another late goal, his first of the contest. And it is a one-goal game for the first time since Central Catholic made it 3-2 with 9:51 to go in the second quarter. Still a minute 13 to go, and Walters got his first. Finally, some secondary scoring. First Ayers, now Walters. And Walter and 4 players have scored today for Ida Wells, who have all the momentum left.
Don't call it a comeback. Without Donegan, the game has really changed on that play, unfortunately, for the Rams. But now they've just got to buck up and get through this last 73 seconds.
Eck versus Kennedy, a huge face-off. Eck won the last one. Ball is loose. Possession still loose. Trying to win it is Josiah Lindsay for Central Catholic. Pushing and shoving. Ball heads over towards the sideline, and it is out of bounds. They're going to give it to Central Catholic. Still a minute to go. Central Catholic can just avoid turning it over. They would pick up their first win in the state of Oregon this year. It's going to be in the sure hands of Liam Casey. He's got an option to his right. Liam Casey, though, will hold on to it. He's across midfield. He's going to get it across the 30. Now they've got to keep it in the attacking zone. 45 seconds to go. They do not need to shoot here.
Oh, he stepped out.
Still working with it is Weymouth. Triple teamed, and now we'll see Dave Sanford use his timeout. 35 seconds to go. Still an eternity in a one-goal game. What a contest we had. I didn't know if we'd have this tight of a finish. Very similar to the last time when it ended up 10-9 with a game-winning goal with 3 seconds left. I'm sure Dave Sanford didn't want to be in this position, but his team has a chance to earn that first win since their season opener. They can hold on to the ball for another 35 seconds.
Yeah, 35 seconds seems like you should be able to kill it pretty easily, but when you're not trying to score, bad things can happen. As a coach here, I'd say if you've got an opportunity to take it to cage, you want to do that. Don't get too cute.
Now, is that with the right guy? Do you need to get the ball into the hands of Weymouth or get him an opening where he's had the hot hand today? Or are you going to be confident in a Sam Martin, a Sasha Colley if he's in the attack again? He may still be playing defense for all we know.
Well, I love Sam Martin with the ball. I know that Weymouth has had a big game with the 5 goals, but Sam Martin is super solid with the ball. Liam Casey's solid with the ball. And if Sasha Colley if he's grabbed the shorty, if they haven't, and which he has, well, is he still down? He might still be with a pole. Yeah, but yes, the point is well taken, that you want to have your best ball handlers with it. Now he'll start outside. He has 10 seconds to get it in, which he should take all of. They're going to double team him.
This is Sam Martin who will get it in. Under 30 seconds to go. Martin being badgered by Tanner Naslund. Martin still with it. 23 seconds on the clock. Can Sam Martin kill off the final 20 by himself? Martin dips through a pair of defenders, heads towards cage, shoots, and he scores! Sam Martin puts the nail in the coffin. He gets the hat trick, and just like that, it's 10-8 with 15 seconds left, and they hit the 10-goal mark that you've been talking about all game long.
Johnny ball game right there. He did a great job taking it back to X, controlled it. When the double team came, he split it, went to cage, and put the nail in the coffin.
Sam Martin, a guy who was described by his head coach as a leader on our offense, more of a scorer, but a guy who can do a bit of everything, and that is a huge 10th goal on the game, as we will get one final face-off most likely, as it's Ida Wells who picks it up for a moment with 5 seconds left. Ball is loose. 3, 2, and 1, and that will do it. Central Catholic earns their first win of the season in the state of Oregon, snaps a 10-game losing streak, their first conference win. IWB Wells, though, streams out and celebrates with their goalie. Both of these teams have a lot to be happy with, and it was a great high school lacrosse game tonight, despite the fact that these two teams came in with a combined 4 wins. They're a lot better than their records.
They're a lot better than their records, and both of these teams are going to be able to build on this going into the Cascade Cup, where they'll be fighting for their playoff lives against like-skilled teams. I like both of their chances.
Yeah, we could see this matchup a second time, especially Owen Donegan's back. This Central Catholic team might be a favorite in the Cascade Cup the way they played tonight. Very effective on the road. 5 goals from Finley Weymouth, Sam Martin with 3, but it was the last one that mattered, scoring with 15 seconds left to give his team the lead, a 2-goal lead. Sasha Colley had 1, Owen Donegan with 1. On the opposite side, Henry Elkin with 4, 2 from Toby Carrick, 1 from Cannon Walter, and 1 from Reese Ayers. All right, Damon, let's get some last thoughts on both of these teams. Let's start with IWB Wells, the home team, who fought back from multiple 4-goal deficits, nearly all the way back. Cut it to 1 with 1:13 left. What did you like about this squad, who's been towards the bottom of the Columbia Conference for a couple of years now, but just battling and had a chance to earn their second win of the conference season?
Well, they also had a chance to pack it in when they were down 9-5, and there was none of that. They were battling all the way through. Elkin, who had the 4 goals, also probably put in 10 miles out there today, running up and down the field as a midfielder. I thought that Fletcher Hammond was excellent at the defensive end, almost the most solid stick out there. And the goalie really stepped up in the second half, had some huge saves to keep him in it.
Yeah, this IWB Wells team graduated 12 seniors and 3 of their 4 all-conference players a year ago. Only brought back 1 all-conference player in Paxton Foster Kramer, who's having another great year. Certainly a team that has a chance to continue to grow, not just this spring, but next spring. On the opposite side for Central Catholic, you lost the first one 10-9 after being up 7-2. Sure, there's a big, nice sigh of relief after holding on to this one after leading by as many as 4 goals. But you got to like what you see, especially how they were able to handle a little bit of adversity with Owen Donegan. They bent, but they did not break in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he means a lot to this team, both at the defensive end and at the midfield. And when he went out, they had a dip. Sanford made an adjustment, got their former all-conference defender back in Sasha Colley to help shut down IWB Wells late. But they too have to be happy with, I think, their offense, the way that after just only the first couple minutes when they kind of kicked it around, I thought that they were good on the offensive end, and that's something that they can build on.
This was a fun high school lacrosse game here from IWB Wells High School. You've been watching the Oregon Sports Beat and Rams TV. For my partner, Damon Hess, our entire crew, my name is Seth Orensky, signing off here from IWB Wells High School Stadium. It is Central Catholic 10, IWB Wells 8 in the second to last game of the regular season.